Hey there, coin lovers, casual collectors, change hoarders, and people who just don't throw anything away ever. Welcome back to the channel where we turn spare change into big bucks one coin at a time. If you've ever looked at a penny and thought, this is worthless, well today we're flipping that mindset upside down. So grab your coin jars, your old wallets, your junk drawers, and settle in. We're about to dive into one of the most surprising valuable pennies floating around out there right now, the 2018 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. We're talking details, history, hidden features, and most importantly, what makes one little coppery circle worth $1.1 million. And yes, I'll even share a ridiculous personal story about how I almost spent a coin worth thousands on gas station beef jerky. True story. Okay, first things first. Let's talk about what we're actually dealing with. The 2018 D penny features our favorite bearded President Abraham Lincoln. Classic design, same OL, copper-plated zinc blend. Minted in Denver, hence the D under the date. Nothing crazy, right? See, most 2018 D pennies are totally ordinary. Billions were made. You'll find them in every parking meter, couch cushion, and school vending machine across the country. But a handful of these little guys came out of the mint with what we call minting anomalies. That's coin nerd speak for screw-ups that make collectors drool and whip out their wallets. Get ready for this because here's where it gets juicy. Some 2018 D Lincoln pennies have a double die obverse. Translation: the front of the coin, the side with Abe, looks like it's got a little ghostly echo. The letters in Liberty might look a little doubled. The motto, "In God We Trust," might have a bit of a shadow. Even the date might look like it's been photocopied slightly out of alignment. Why is that a big deal? Well, in the world of coin collecting, these kinds of doubling errors are like shiny unicorns. They're rare, eye-catching, and people are willing to pay a fortune for them, especially when the coin is in mint condition. Now we're not talking, "I dropped it behind the couch and it's got some fuzz on it" condition. We're talking pristine, never been touched by human hands, flawless kind of condition. A coin graded MS-70, that's mint state 70, is as good as it gets. And one of these rare double-die 2018 D pennies in MS-70 recently made waves, selling at auction for $1.1 million. Imagine being the person who found that in a handful of pocket change. I'd cry. Happy tears. Ugly happy tears. So why do these errors happen? The minting process is fast, furious, and not totally foolproof. Sometimes a die used to stamp the coins shifts ever so slightly and boom, you get that doubling effect. It's not intentional. It's not supposed to happen. And that's exactly what makes it so collectible. Collectors go nuts over rare die varieties, especially modern ones, because they're harder to find in good shape. Most people don't even look at their change anymore. They swipe, tap, and forget. But if you're the person who still checks your coins, you're already ahead of the game. Okay, story time. A few years ago, I stopped at a gas station on a road trip. I was starving. I grabbed a Mountain Dew and some of that super spicy teriyaki beef jerky. I handed the cashier a 10 and got some change back. I glanced down, saw a shiny new penny, 2018 D, thought, nice, it's new, and shoved it in my pocket. Later that night, I dumped my change out on the hotel nightstand and out of boredom started Googling coin errors. That's when I saw it. A forum post talking about a rare 2018 D with doubling. I pulled out the penny, looked closer, and my stomach dropped. I swear I saw doubling on Liberty. Like enough to get excited. Enough to lose sleep over, but you know what I did? I dropped the coin under the bed. Couldn't find it. Gave up. It haunts me to this day. That penny could have paid off my student loans, bought me a new car, and still left enough for unlimited jerky for life. So don't be me. Look closely. Hold on to anything that seems off. Get a magnifying glass. Get weird with it. First, flip the coin to see if it has the D mint mark under the date. That's step 1. Second, check for any doubling on the words Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date itself. It doesn't have to be super obvious. Sometimes it's subtle but still counts. Third, if it looks promising, don't throw it in your junk drawer. Put it in a soft cloth or coin holder. Then get it graded by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Grading costs a bit, but it's worth it if you think you're holding a treasure. And finally, don't forget to check online marketplaces. See what people are buying. Watch for trends. Just because a coin sold once for $1.1 million doesn't mean every 2018 D penny is gonna get that price. But even one that's less than perfect might fetch a few hundred or $1,000. Not too shabby for a penny, right? So there you have it, folks. The 2018 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. A coin you might have already spent on vending machine gum that could be worth over $1 million. Mind blown. We've learned what to look for, how these rare errors happen, why collectors are losing their minds over it, and yes, how gas station beef jerky almost cost me a fortune. If you're into treasure hunting without the whole pirate ship thing, this is your moment. Dig through your change. Check those couch cushions. Raid grandma's coin jar if you have to. There might be $1 million penny just waiting to be discovered. And if you liked this video and want more tips on coins that could turn into major cash, then you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button like your future wealth depends on it. Tap that bell so you don't miss any new uploads and drop a comment telling me what coin you want me to cover next. Or just share your weirdest coin story. I love those. Hey coin lovers and casual change hoarders alike, welcome back to the channel where pocket change might just buy you a mansion. I'm your host, the person who once almost spent a rare penny on a bag of chips, and today we're diving deep into the world of the 1992 Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Yeah, that ordinary looking copper coin could be worth up to $1,200,000, and no, you didn't mishear that. So before you go raiding your couch cushions or that old piggy bank from 3rd grade, stick around, because I'm going to tell you exactly what to look for, why it's so valuable, how to spot a fake, and share a hilarious personal story about how I once almost ruined a coin worth thousands without even knowing it. And of course, if you love money tips that don't involve crypto, MLMs, or selling your kidney, hit that subscribe button because we've got loads more treasure to uncover. Okay, so picture this, it's 1992, the Fresh Prince is on TV, grunge music is booming, and the Denver Mint is doing its thing, making Lincoln pennies like it's just another Tuesday. But something weird happens that year. A handful of pennies accidentally used the reverse design from 1988, which means the word America on the back has the A and the M spaced super close together like they're best friends in a group selfie instead of the usual socially distant letters. This version is called the 1992 AM penny, and it is rare, like rarer than a text back from your crush on a Monday. And when coin collectors caught on, people started flipping out and flipping their pennies over because the small design change made a massive impact on value. So just how rare is it? Estimates say there are only maybe a dozen or so confirmed 1992 AM pennies out there. That's out of literally billions with a B of pennies minted in the 90s. So finding one is kind of like winning the penny lottery. One of these bad boys actually sold for over $1.2 million at auction. Can you imagine going to the store thinking you're 2 cents short for gum and finding out you've been carrying a house in your pocket? I'd cry, I'd ugly cry right there at the counter. All right, let me tell you a quick personal story. So a few years ago, I'm digging through this old box of random junk in my mom's attic. You know, one of those boxes filled with Pokemon cards, broken headphones, and mystery crumbs. I find this little coin folder from when I was a kid. I used to collect pennies for fun, and one of them caught my eye. It was a 1992 penny, and I swear for a hot second I thought I'd struck gold. So I rushed to Google, squint at the coin, compare it to online photos. It had the close M. I got so excited I knocked over an entire can of root beer onto the coin. You heard me right, the potential $1,000,000 penny was now root beer soaked and sticky. I felt like the human version of face bomb. But hey, lesson learned, always double check your change and never drink soda near valuable coins. Let's get technical but not boring, I promise. Okay, grab a magnifying glass, because this detail is tiny on the reverse of the penny. Look at the word America, specifically the A and the M in most 1992 pennies. There's a noticeable space between the A and M. They're not touching or even close, just vibing with personal space. But on the close AM variety, the A and M are nearly touching, like two peas in a pod or two people awkwardly squeezing into one seat on the subway. It's subtle, but when you see it you'll know. Also check that it has a D mint mark on the front under the year. Not AP, not an S, just AD for Denver. Also, the FG initials by the Lincoln Memorial on the back should be further away from the building than in normal coins, so it's kind of like a weird puzzle. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Alright, let's say you find one, but it's got scratches or looks like it was used to scratch off lottery tickets all those years ago. Condition matters. If your coin is in mint state, which means no scratches, no dings, basically the coin version of a fresh manicure, that's where the big bucks come in. A mint state 67 1992 AM penny is what sold for $1.2 million. If yours is more like a grandma kept it in her cookie jar for 30 years situation, it might still fetch a few grand, but not mansion money. Still, that's a lot better than 1 cent. Now listen, where there's money there are always fakes. Some people try to make close AMs by tampering with coins, and honestly some of them are pretty convincing, but experts know what to look for, and a legit grading service can help you confirm if yours is real. So if you think you have one, don't clean it, don't mess with it, just take it to a reputable coin dealer or send it to a grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you what you've got and hopefully how many vacations you can afford now. Okay, so here's what I recommend. Check those penny jars, old wallets, drawers, glove compartments, your kid's piggy bank. Just ask permission first, and especially old penny rolls from banks. You'd be shocked at how many valuable coins end up just being dumped into circulation like it's no big deal. You can even buy sealed bank rolls from the 90s online and do what coin nerds like us call coin roll hunting. It's basically treasure hunting for grown-ups, just without the pirates and parrots. And don't forget estate sales, garage sales, flea markets. You'd be surprised how many old folks have hoards of coins and no clue what they're worth. Just last year someone found a 1992 AM in a 25-cent junk box at a yard sale. That's the dream, folks. Alright, coin fam, if you've stuck with me this far, you're officially a coin detective, and now you know why the 1992 D Lincoln penny might just be the most valuable coin in your collection, or maybe even your grandma's purse. So next time someone hands you change, don't just toss it in a tip jar, give it a look, because that one little penny could change your whole life, from I need gas money to I just bought a beach house. And hey, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. It helps way more than you think. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into coins worth big money. We're talking nickels, dimes, quarters, even dollar coins with hidden value. Leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, or even if you just checked your change. Because of this video, I read every comment, and who knows, maybe you'll be our next coin success story. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential paydays. I'm your host and your favorite coin collecting buddy, and today I've got a juicy little secret hiding in plain sight. Yep, your average looking 1982 Lincoln penny might just be worth a staggering $1.3 million. Yeah, you heard me right. $1.3 million. For a penny. Makes you want to dive into your couch cushions, doesn't it? But before you go flipping over your piggy banks and raiding grandma's coin jar, stick around. Because I'm gonna tell you exactly what to look for, how it happened, and why one tiny detail can make all the difference between 1 cent and 1 million. Plus, I've got a hilarious little story about how I almost spent a rare coin on a pack of gum. No joke. So grab a drink, get comfy, and let's dig into the world of pennies, mistakes, and million-dollar surprises. Alright, let's start with a little backstory to set the scene. Picture this, it's 1982. E.T. is phoning home. Michael Jackson is moonwalking into history. And the US Mint? They're making a major change. Due to rising copper prices, they decided to switch the penny from 95% copper to a cheaper zinc core coated with copper. Sounds simple enough, right? But here's where it gets messy. They didn't just flip the switch overnight. Nope. In 1982, the US Mint actually made 7 different varieties of the Lincoln penny. You had large dates, small dates, copper compositions, zinc compositions, and a mix of all the above. It was like a coin version of musical chairs. And this mix-up is exactly what led to one of the most valuable penny errors in history. Now, here's the kicker. Somewhere in all this minting madness, a small batch of pennies were struck on copper planchets at the Philadelphia Mint but never got their little P mint mark. That, my friends, is the elusive 1982 no mint mark copper Lincoln penny, and it's the one that could make you rich. Let me save you the confusion right away. If you find a 1982 Lincoln penny, don't just throw it in the meb pile. First, check if there's a mint mark under the date. If there's a D, it's from Denver. If there's nothing, it was minted in Philadelphia. That's the one we're focusing on. A copper penny weighs about 3.11 grams, while a zinc penny weighs 2.5 grams. It's not a huge difference, but it matters. You'll need a digital scale that measures to the 100th of a gram. Don't worry, they're cheap, and you can get one online for under $10. The valuable one is a small date variety. It's a little more compact, especially the 2 in 1982. It curves up higher than the large date version. You can find comparison images online, or better yet, bookmark this video and pause right here when I show you a close-up. As of now, one verified example of this exact coin sold for a mind-blowing $1.3 million. Not bad for a little copper disc that could have ended up in a vending machine. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Even lesser condition examples can bring in tens of thousands. Not bad for something you might already have in your pocket, and here's the thing, there could be more out there. Experts believe a handful of these coins still exist, but they've never been found. That means one could be sitting in your change jar. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a treasure hunt worth joining. A couple years ago, I was digging through an old shoebox full of coins from my childhood. I found this 1982 penny, no mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. I waited. Boom. 3.1 grams. I was about to break into a happy dance right there in my garage. I had scratched it years ago trying to open a battery cover on an old remote. I'm serious. $1 million coin, ruined by a janky TV remote. The irony? The remote didn't even work, and always store your coins properly. Coin flips, sleeves, holders, they matter, especially if you stumble across something valuable. Don't be like me, scratching away your retirement fund trying to get AA batteries in place. Why these coins get so expensive? Quick detour into the coin nerd world. Why do these coins fetch so much money? This 1982 no mint mark copper penny is ultra rare. We're talking single-digit verified discoveries. Combine that with collectors who are obsessed with completing sets, and boom, the price shoots into the stratosphere. Coin collecting is like Pokemon for grown-ups. You gotta catch 'em all. And if someone's missing that one penny to complete their epic set, they'll pay top dollar. And hey, grading matters too. If you think you've got the real deal, send it to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. A graded, authenticated coin with high quality can fetch the really big bucks. The 1982 no mint mark copper Lincoln penny. A tiny piece of metal that's turning heads and bank accounts. It's crazy to think that something so ordinary looking could be so extraordinary in value. Before you go back to scrolling TikTok or heating up Hot Pockets, do yourself a favor, go through that jar of change. Check your 1982 pennies. Get a scale. Compare those dates. You might just be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. And hey, if you found this video helpful or at least mildly entertaining, make sure to smash that subscribe button. I drop new videos every week about rare coins, valuable finds, and all the weird and wonderful stuff that can make you money from everyday items. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. And remember, you don't have to be a millionaire to find $1 million penny. You just need a sharp eye, a little knowledge, and maybe a lucky shoebox. Hey coin hunters and treasure seekers, welcome back to the channel where spare change might just spare your bank account from extinction. Today we're diving deep into a penny. Yep, you heard that right, a penny. 1 cent. The lowest coin in the game, and yet this one might just change your life. So here's the hook. What if I told you that one of the most common looking coins in your pocket, that dusty penny stuck in your car cup holder or hiding behind your couch cushion, could be worth $1.4 million? Not a typo, not clickbait, just pure numismatic magic. We're talking about the 2005 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yep, the one with Honest Abe chilling on the front looking like he's wondering what you're gonna do with your spare change. And yes, it's the kind of coin you've probably spent at a gas station or dropped in a tip jar without thinking twice, but today we're gonna make sure you never do that again. Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to look for, what makes this penny so special, and how one little copper coin could buy you a mansion, a Lamborghini, and still leave you change for tacos. So what does no mint mark mean? It means the coin was minted in Philadelphia. Philly doesn't stamp their coins with a mint mark. Why, I have no idea. Maybe they like to be mysterious. Maybe they're just lazy. Who knows? But that's the first clue. Now, normally a 2005 penny is just a penny. It's brown, round, and easy to ignore. But here's the kicker, not all 2005 pennies are created equal. There's a rare version out there missing some key details, or struck in a strange way, or with materials that weren't supposed to be used, and those little flukes, those minting errors, are what turn average coins into million-dollar miracles. Let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was helping my niece roll pennies for a school fundraiser. You know, just sitting there on the floor making stacks of 50 like it was Monopoly money. She handed me this grubby little penny and said, "Uncle, is this one weird, or is Abe melting?" And I kid you not, it looked like Lincoln's head was doing the wave. Turns out it was a double die error. Not the million-dollar one we're talking about today, but it got me hooked. That's when I went deep into the rabbit hole of error coins and rare varieties. I bought the magnifying glass. I started going to estate sales and flea markets. I've had cashiers think I'm weird for inspecting my change like it's a crime scene. But you know what? That weirdness pays off. Number 1, major minting errors. We're talking off-center strikes, double dies, wrong planchet errors, and more. Some 2005 pennies were accidentally struck on zinc planchets with a copper coat that went rogue. Others had misaligned dies that make Lincoln look like he's slipping out of the coin. Think of it as coin art made by accident. Number 2, pristine condition. I'm talking mint state. Like this penny hasn't seen the light of day. If your coin looks like it just came from a fresh roll and it's got that original shine, baby, you're halfway to that $1.4 million payday. Number 3, rarity. There are only a few known examples of this specific high-value 2005 penny floating around. And collectors love that. It's like baseball cards. Nobody wants the common one with a mustard stain. They want the rare, shiny unicorn with perfect stats and no scratches. Let's get a little nerdy for a second. The coin's composition in 2005 was mostly zinc with a thin copper coating. But if your coin was struck on a leftover blank from a previous year or a different metal planchet, the US Mint messed up big time. And when they mess up, you cash in. Let's talk market value. A verified 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny with the right error sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. That's enough to pay off your house, your cousin's house, and still have enough to start a coin collecting museum in your basement. The coin world is wild like that. One minute you're broke, the next you're rich, all because of a penny that took a left turn at the mint. Now, I know what you're thinking. All right, how do I find one of these magical coins? Step 1, check your change. Every time. Seriously, it's like lottery tickets that don't cost anything. Make it a habit. Grocery store coins, vending machine rejects your kid's piggy bank. Search them all. Step 2, grab a magnifying glass. Preferably one that lights up. Look for weird features like double letters, blurry lines, missing parts, or Lincoln looking like he's got a twin. Step 3, weigh the coin. If you've got a kitchen scale, pull it out. A standard 2005 penny weighs about 2.5 grams. If yours is heavier or lighter, it could mean it's made from the wrong material. Step 4, get it graded. If you find something that looks suspicious, take it to a reputable coin dealer or send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and give you a grade. That grade determines value. It's like sending your coin to college so it can get a good job. Step 5. Keep it safe. If you think you found the golden goose, don't toss it in a drawer with some paper clips and a half-eaten cough drop. Get a protective sleeve or a coin flip. Treat it like a mini Mona Lisa, and while you're doing all this, don't forget to have fun. Coin collecting is one part detective work, one part treasure hunting, and one part history class, but way cooler and with way less homework. Let me tell you, I once found a 1944 steel penny at a garage sale for a quarter. That coin was worth thousands. The guy thought it was just an old penny. I didn't lie. I said, wow, this is neat. And I walked away feeling like Indiana Jones with a coin pouch instead of a whip. That's the thrill of the hunt, my friends. And you're only one coin away from your big find, so there you have it, folks. The 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny. It looks like a penny, sounds like a penny, but might be worth more than your car and your boat and your retirement fund combined. Remember, check your change, pay attention to details, and never underestimate the power of a coin that most people overlook. If you've ever thought, nah, I'll just toss this in the jar, think again. That penny might be the one that pays for your dream vacation or your dream house, or at the very least a really ridiculous hot tub shaped like a coin. And hey, if you liked this video, learn something new, or just want to join a community of fellow coin nerds, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more coin tips, stories, and wild finds. This is your friendly neighborhood coin geek signing off, reminding you that every penny has a story, and some of those stories are worth a whole lot more than 1 cent. Hey, what's up, my fellow treasure hunters, couch coin collectors, and everyone who ever dropped a penny and just said, not worth it? Well, get this. What if I told you that the 1986 no mint mark Lincoln penny that's been chilling in your junk drawer is worth more than a Ferrari? That's right. $1.5 million. Yes, $1.5 million. For one brown little coin that most people wouldn't even bother to bend down for. We're talking pocket change to life-changing here. So before you go emptying your piggy banks or flipping your couch cushions inside out, hang tight. We're diving into the story of the 1986 no mint mark Lincoln penny that's become the holy grail for collectors. We'll talk about what makes it so special, how to spot one, why it's so dang valuable, and how a mistake at the US Mint turned an ordinary penny into a millionaire's dream. And I've even got a personal story that'll make you want to cry, laugh, or laugh, cry. Either way, you're not gonna want to miss it. So let's break it down. It's 1986. Gas is under $1. Everyone's obsessed with cassette tapes and shoulder pads. And the US Mint is pumping out pennies like it's nobody's business. Most of these pennies had either a little D for Denver or S for San Francisco printed just below the year. That little mint mark tells you where the coin was made. But every now and then something slips through the cracks. And I mean literally slips through, because the 1986 no mint mark penny somehow escaped the stamping process altogether. Now, usually pennies without a mint mark were made in Philadelphia. But here's the kicker: Philadelphia wasn't even supposed to make Lincoln cents without identifying them that year. This particular error coin somehow got minted and released into the wild, and collectors? Oh, they love errors. It's like finding a typo in a Harry Potter book that turns it into a first edition worth thousands. Same deal here, and that's why, in today's market, this penny has been auctioned for up to $1.5 million. Yep, for one tiny coin. Okay, so we've got the error part down. But $1.5 million? That's not pocket change, that's I'm buying a yacht called Pennywise money. The 1986 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a die variety error, and very few of them exist. It's like finding a unicorn at a gas station. Not impossible, but kinda. Plus, it has to be in mint condition. No scratches, no gum stuck to it. Number 3-year-old who thought it was a snack. We're talking pristine, straight from the mint condition. Collectors want coins that look like they just came off the press, even if they were made nearly 40 years ago. If you've got one in perfect shape, what's called MS 67 or higher, you're sitting on a retirement plan, my friend. First, grab your loose change, those jars full of coins, that dusty drawer with random stuff in it. Grab a magnifying glass if you have one, or your phone camera. Look for a 1986 penny, and here's what you need to do. Flip it over and inspect the obverse. That's coin nerd talk for the front side. Bingo. You might be holding a coin worth more than your car. Or your house. Or both, but before you go quitting your job and shopping for mansions, you gotta get it authenticated. Send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify it and give it a grade. Don't clean the coin. I know. It's tempting. You want to make it shine. But trust me, coin collectors would rather have a dirty original than a polished imposter. I'm at a garage sale a few years back. I see this old coffee can full of coins labeled $3, all of it. I'm like, score. Might find some silver in there. I get home, dump it out, and I see a 1986 penny with no mint mark. Now, I wasn't as coin savvy back then, right? I was like, meh, just a regular Philly penny. I think I ended up tossing it into a Coinstar machine the next day. I'm scrolling through some coin forum and boom, there it is. Rare 1986 no mint mark penny sells at auction for over $1 million. I almost threw my coffee at the wall. To this day, I still wonder if I just casually gave up $1 million for a bottle of soda and a Snickers bar. Yeah, moral of the story? Always check your change. And maybe don't rush to Coinstar like I did. People find rare coins all the time. And most of the time, they don't even know what they're holding. That's why learning about these little details like mint marks and error coins can turn a boring penny into a lottery ticket. And hey, worst case scenario, you become the cool friend who knows stuff about money that nobody else does. Best case? You retire early and buy an island shaped like Abe Lincoln's face. Who knows, the legendary 1986 no mint mark Lincoln penny, $1 million mistake in the best way possible. Now it's your turn. Go check your change, look under the couch, raid your grandma's coin jar. Just don't forget to thank her if you find one. If you learned something today, smash that subscribe button like you just found a treasure map. Hit the bell so you don't miss out on the next big coin secret. I've got videos coming on rare nickels, dimes, quarters, and even dollar bills that could be worth a small fortune. And drop a comment if you've ever found something valuable in your spare change. Or if you're currently hyperventilating because you just found a 1986 penny with no mint mark. I want to hear your stories. Hey coin hunters, welcome back to the channel where pocket change becomes treasure and your grandma's old coffee might just make you a millionaire. Now listen up real quick, because what if I told you that a single penny, yes 1 cent from 1979 with a tiny little d under the date, could be worth a jaw-dropping, earth-shaking, absolutely bananas $1.6 million. That's right, not $6, not 600, not 60,000, 1.6 million. No, I know it sounds like something out of a late-night infomercial or a weird uncle's conspiracy theory, but I'm gonna break it all down for you. Grab your coin jars, your magnifying glasses, and maybe a celebratory snack, because by the end of this video you're gonna be itching to go through every single penny in your house. Cites a Lincoln cent made in Denver, hence the D mint mark right under the year. Now most of these bad boys are worth exactly 1 cent or maybe a few cents if they're in decent shape and someone's feeling generous on eBay. And this is a big, but there are a few rare variations and errors that can make them worth a small fortune. The star of today's show is one very specific 1979 D penny that's got collectors drooling and wallets shaking. This particular coin sold for $1.6 million because it had some wild things going on. Number 1, the coin was in absolutely pristine condition, like never been touched by human hands, probably stored in a time capsule next to Elvis memorabilia kind of condition. In coin nerd terms, it was graded MS69, which is basically one level below perfection. See, in rare cases the mint messes up and prints the coin with a double die, a misaligned strike, or even the wrong metal. These errors are like the golden snitches of the coin world. Super rare, super valuable, and people will fight each other to get them. In this case, the 1979 D penny had a super crisp double die on Lincoln's face and the word liberty. It looked like Honest Abe had a twin, and it drove collectors nuts in a good way. Now, before you start thinking you've got one of these in your sock drawer, slow down, cowboy. Most 1979 D pennies are still just worth face value, but here's where things get interesting. There are a bunch of minor errors from that year that can still fetch a nice payday. I am talking off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, die cracks, and even coins struck on the wrong planchet. One guy found a 1979 D penny that was struck on a dime planchet and sold it for a few $1,000s, and you know what he bought with that money? So last year I was helping my uncle clean out his garage, which looked like a mix between a coin shop and an episode of Hoarders. We find this old coffee tin labeled emergency cookies, so naturally I open it expecting some expired Oreos. I start looking through them and boom, there it was, a shiny 1979 D staring right back at me. My heart skips a beat, I'm sweating, I'm thinking I just struck coin gold. So I grab my loop magnifier like a true coin detective and start inspecting it. Turns out it wasn't the $1 million version, but guess what, it had a tiny die crack. I posted it online and someone bought it for $80. I turned 1 cent into a nice dinner out and a tank of gas. So yeah, you might not find the exact $1.6 million unicorn, but that doesn't mean your coins are worthless. You've got to become part detective, part treasure hunter, and part nerd, and trust me, the nerd part pays off. So the next time you get change at the grocery store, don't just shove it in your car's cup holder or toss it in the couch. Check those dates, look for mint marks, and give those coins a second chance at greatness. That 1979 D penny sitting in your junk drawer might be worth a fortune, or at the very least it might pay for your next pizza night. Now, before you go running off to raid grandma's coin jar, do me a solid, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because we've got way more videos coming about coins worth serious money and how you can find them. We've got tips, strategies, and the occasional dumb joke to keep things fun while you get rich from spare change. Also hit that like button if you learned something new, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a weird coin. Who knows, maybe your story will be featured in our next video. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where your spare change might just make you a millionaire. Have you ever had one of those days where you're digging through the couch cushions looking for a quarter just to buy a soda and instead you pull out a penny and think, well great, just one cent? What if I told you that one of those little coppery coins from 1985 with a tiny D on it could be worth over $1.7 million? Yes, you heard that right, a penny worth more than most people's houses now. Before you go flipping your whole house upside down, stick with me because in the next 40 minutes we're diving deep into the story of the 1985 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, what makes it so special, why collectors are throwing cash like it's confetti, and how you might just be sitting on a small fortune and not even know it. Plus, I've got a pretty hilarious story involving a shoebox, a confused grandma, and a coin dealer who almost fainted on the spot. So grab a snack, get comfy, and let's crack the mystery of this $1 million penny wide open. Alright, so first things first, let's break down what exactly the 1985 D Lincoln penny is. So you got Abraham Lincoln on the front looking as serious as ever, and on the back you've got the Lincoln Memorial. All classic stuff if you've ever held a penny in your life. Now the D Mint mark right under the year means it was made in Denver. Simple enough, but here's the twist: most 1985 D pennies are worth, well, a penny. Some are worth a few bucks if they're in super mint condition, but there's one in maybe a few rare friends that are worth over $1.7 million. Now coin collectors love errors, they go bananas over them. We talking about things like double dies, off center strikes, wrong planchets, and all kinds of minting weirdness. One of the rarest errors found in this penny involves a double die obverse. That's a fancy way of saying the design on the front of the coin was stamped not once but twice, slightly off, creating a shadow effect, especially on the date, the lettering, and good old Abe's profile. The result is a penny that looks kind of drunk, but in a good way. Collectors go nuts for these because they're one of a kind. Now pair that with a full red luster, which means the coin hasn't lost its original coppery glow, and bam, you've got yourself a coin worth more than a Tesla Model X and a small boat combined. Okay, so you're probably asking, why in the world would someone pay $1.7 million for a penny? Great question. It all comes down to rarity and condition. There are only a few known examples of the 1985 D penny with this exact error, combined that with collectors who are always chasing the next big unicorn coin, and prices skyrocket. In fact, one of these beauties was sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $1.7 million, setting a record and turning a humble little penny into a superstar. Now let me tell you a story that still gets me teased at every family gathering. So a few years ago my grandma calls me up, says she found a jar of old coins in the back of her closet. You know, the kind dusty, covered in cobwebs, smells like a mix of mothballs and Vicks vapor rub. She's like, hey, maybe these are worth something. So I come over, we start sorting through them, and I kid you not, we find a 1985 D penny that looked almost brand new, had this weird shadow around the date. So naturally I geek out. I run it down to a coin dealer in town. This guy's got a magnifying glass glued to his face at all times, real serious dude. He looks at the penny, looks at me, back at the penny, and then he lets out this long dramatic sigh and says, where did you get this? Turns out it wasn't the $1 million version, but he did offer us $200 for it, which was still a win, and grandma used that money to buy herself a new recliner. So hey, victory all around. But ever since then, every time I see a 1985 D penny I get this little adrenaline rush, because you just never know. So here's how you can spot the $1 million version if you're lucky enough. First, grab a magnifying glass or use your phone camera to zoom in. Look closely at the date, the word LIBRTYN, and God we trust. If they look like they've got a double image or are slightly fuzzy, you might be onto something. Then check the overall condition. No major scratches, no signs of wear, and a full copper red shine is a bonus. And if you think you've got a winner, don't go selling it to your cousin's friend for $20. Take it to a certified coin dealer, or better yet, send it in for professional grading. That's how you'll get the big bucks. Oh, and by the way, there are other versions of the 1985 penny out there that are worth something too, like high-grade proofs, off-center strikes, or coins made on the wrong planchet. One guy even found a penny struck on a dime. Blank. Talk about mixed signals. These aren't $1 million level, but some have gone for thousands, which ain't bad for something you got in change from a vending machine. Now, I know what you're thinking, why would I bother checking every penny in my pocket? Well, here's the thing: millions of coins pass through our hands every year, and almost all of us just let them go without even a glance. But there are hidden treasures out there, and all it takes is a little bit of curiosity, a few minutes of looking, and maybe a flashlight, and honestly it's kind of fun. Feels like you're playing real-life treasure hunter, just without the snakes and booby traps. So there you have it, folks, the story of the humble 1985 D penny that turned into a $1.7 million jackpot. Could there be more of them out there? Absolutely could. One be in your wallet right now, maybe, but you'll never know unless you start checking. And who knows, maybe one day you'll have your own story about turning pocket change into a life-changing fortune, or at the very least a new recliner for your grandma. If you enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about coins that could make you rich, rare errors and tips on spotting the good stuff, then go ahead and smash that subscribe button, hit the bell so you never miss a coin worth a fortune, and drop a comment below if you've ever found something weird in your change. Hey coin collectors and curious treasure hunters, welcome back to the channel, where pocket change might just be your jackpot. Okay, real quick, have you ever fished a penny out of your car cup holder while searching for quarters for the vending machine, only to realize years later that penny might have been worth $1 million today? We're talking about a humble-looking 1992 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny that's currently shaking the coin collecting world with a jaw-dropping value of $18 million. Yes. You heard that right, 1.8 million big ones for a single penny. So grab your magnifying glass, your jar of old change, and maybe a lucky rabbit's foot, because we're diving deep into the wild and weird world of the 1992 D Lincoln Penny-O. And trust me, this story includes mystery, misprints, and a little moment of personal heartbreak that I promise you'll relate to. Alright, so what's the deal with this 1992 D penny? Why is it so special? Back in 1992, the US Mint was doing its usual thing, cranking out billions of Lincoln pennies, but something strange happened. A few of the coins that came out of the Denver Mint that year had a weird twist. They were accidentally struck with what's known as the close AM reverse. Don't worry, it's not some secret code. It literally means that on the back of the penny, the letters A and M in the word America are almost touching, like real close, like couple on a first date watching a scary movie close. Normally in 1992, those letters are spaced out like your high school dance partners. So when these close AM errors slipped through and hit circulation, collectors went nuts. Fast forward to today, and only a few of these 1992 D close AM pennies have been discovered. And that's why one recently sold for $18 million. I was at a yard sale 2 years ago chatting with this older gentleman who had a jar labeled Grandpa's Lucky Change. I asked if I could take a peek, and he said, "Sure kid, I only use those for scratch-offs." So I'm digging through the jar and I spot a 1992 D penny. Looked clean, too sharp detail, nice color. I joked and said, "Hey, wouldn't it be hilarious if this was one of those rare close AM pennies worth a fortune?" He laughed, handed it to me, and said, "You can have it." Of course, I didn't have my magnifying glass with me and figured out probably nothing special. Fast forward to 3 months later, I'm cleaning out my junk drawer, and I remember that coin. And folks, the AM is not close. They're socially distancing still. I had a moment, a brief, heartbreaking moment where I thought maybe, just maybe, I'd hit the coin lottery. So here's the lesson: always check the coins, always. Now, how do you know if you've got one of these magic $1 million pennies? If those letters are almost touching like they're about to kiss, congrats, you might be holding a close AM penny worth a fortune. But to be sure, you'll want to get it authenticated by a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They're like the superhero judges of the coin world. No cape, but plenty of magnification. Another tip: don't clean the coin. No soap, no polish, no scrubbing. I know it's tempting to make it shiny, but collectors want them in their raw, natural state. Think of it like a rare vintage wine. You wouldn't add ice cubes to a $1,000 bottle of Bordeaux, would you? Same thing here. And if you're checking pennies and rolls from the bank, don't sleep on 1992 D coins. Grab a box and go through them. It's like scratching a lottery ticket without the glitter. Now, I know some of you are thinking, come on, how many of these are even out there? Well, here's the thing: there's only a handful known to exist, which means if you find one, you are basically joining the exclusive club of coin kings and queens. We're talking private jet money for a coin that might be hiding in your junk drawer. And don't forget about the Philadelphia version too. There's a 1992 close AM with no mint mark. That one is also worth big bucks, but the Denver Mint one is the rarest and most valuable. So what makes the 1992 D so much more valuable? With fewer in circulation and everyone hunting for them, the value keeps rising. It's like Pokemon cards, but for adults with metal detectors. The 1992 D penny you've probably ignored for decades could be worth $18 million if it has the rare close AM reverse. All you gotta do is flip it over, check those letters, and if it looks promising, get it authenticated. And please, for the love of Lincoln, don't use it in a vending machine. I am about to go dig through every coin jar my grandma owns. And hey, even if you don't find the $1 million penny, you're gonna learn a ton along the way, and who knows, maybe you'll find other rare coins worth hundreds or thousands. So if you want more tips on valuable coins, coin roll hunting strategies, and stories about the big wins and hilarious fails, hit that subscribe button, smash that like. If you've ever dropped a penny and left it because you thought it wasn't worth picking up, turns out you could have dropped a whole car. And drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or just want to share your own coin hunting story. This has been your friendly neighborhood coin nerd, reminding you the next big treasure might be sitting right under your couch cushions.